Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original movie, The Last Thing He Wanted. A veteran DC journalist loses the thread of her own narrative when a guilt-propelled errand for her father thrusts her from byline to unwitting subject in the very story she's trying to break. Adapted from Joan Didion's Namesake novel. So The Last Thing He Wanted is directed by Dee Rees. She's done some TV, a couple of films, nothing that stands out to me. It's obviously got an interesting cast as well. Anne Hathaway plays this journalist. You've got Willem Dafoe who plays the father, and the relationship is very broken between Anne Hathaway and her father, and so she does the last thing he wanted, thus the title. And so it turns this whole story from her being the journalist to her being the story. And that is the whole film. I have to say from the outset that I found this film very difficult to get through. I had to put my headphones on, which I never do, to really concentrate and be in the moment, be there in the film. I couldn't use my surround sound. I just needed to be completely immersed as much as possible. And even then, I felt this film was very, very drawn out. It runs just over 2 hours, and I felt like it could have been half that. There are a lot of shots that are drawn out and very like melancholy shots where a character will say something and then the reverse character will look and look all forlorn and very contemplative. It's that sort of shooting. It's directed that way. If you've seen some of the other directors' films, so there's Pariah and Mudbound, very similar style. So if you like that style, you might love this. I found it very tough to get through. That's not to say the performances aren't good, because I liked Anne Hathaway. I recently saw Anne Hathaway in a film called Serenity. Never before ever believed in the whole thing of she wasn't cast or they weren't cast right for the film. I believe that actors are chameleons and they should be able to take what they can and develop themselves into that character and be the best they can for that character or role. But it was the first time I've seen that Anne Hathaway was definitely not right for that film Serenity. So I was a little bit worried about her in this. I have to say, I know she's a great actress and I thought she was excellent as the role of the journalist. I believed her plight and the kind of the brokenness of the relationships that they're trying to show in the film. Willem Dafoe, as always, is just fantastic. He has such great presence. He is a true chameleon. If you've seen The Lighthouse, you'll see some of the best acting he's ever done. I do feel like he's often missed out at the Oscars. He deserves a number of Oscars in my opinion. I think he's a fantastic actor. And then you get Ben Affleck, who's in a few scenes in this film, not as many as you might see. I think because he's a high star, like a AAA star, like Anne Hathaway, he tends to have his name on the poster. Even though the synopsis says what this film's about, and even though you kind of understand, the film goes all over the place, and you're often wondering what the actual meaning or what you're meant to get out of watching this. Because when I was finished watching this, I was like, really, that's how it ends? It is a pretty realistic ending, but at the same time, I didn't get anything out of watching this film. I will never watch this film again. And I'm not even sure it's a bad film. It's just very long, very drawn out. Like I said, I feel like I'm coming down harshly on this film, but this is definitely not one for me. I was huffing and sighing all the way through it. I felt like even the scenes that were good felt drawn out. It's just like the most drawn out film I've seen in a long time. I could talk about cinematography. There's nothing that stands out massively, but a few of the shots I thought, well, that was fairly creative. I like some of the acting, even the side characters that you don't normally hear people talk about. I thought everybody was pretty strong in this. Even the daughter of the Anne Hathaway character, I thought of the journalist, I thought she was good. I thought Anne Hathaway's counterpart, journalist, who kind of has this relationship that you believe, that is all good. So there's all these good parts, but because the film seems to go all over the place and doesn't really know the story it's trying to tell, although it does, it's kind of like all over the place. We're telling this bit of the story, now we're going over here, we're telling this bit of the story, and then we're going over here. And by the time you get to the end, you feel like your head is just like in a big tangent long mess, and it took way too long to get there. And that is how I feel about this film. I think it's well made, I guess, but I didn't enjoy it. So take what you will from that. I'm going to give this a C, because I think people will be split down the middle with this. You're probably going to go, yeah, that was great, don't know what you're talking about, this is really good, had me really, I was tense at the edge of my seat, loved the shots and how they created it, and the acting was amazing. Or you could be like, man, I switched it off within the first 20 minutes. What was that about? Honestly, it took 44 minutes, I think, for the story actually to get interesting for me. I remember looking at my, I was like, wow, 44 minutes in, and now I'm only really enjoying it. Really enjoying it is even not accurate. I was enjoying it. I was intrigued. There was a little bit of suspense and intrigue more. It drove me further. The first 40 minutes of the film was like, well, what is it you are trying to do with this film? Yeah, so let me know in the comments below what you thought about this. It is based on the book, or maybe you've read the book and thought the adaptation isn't great. Maybe you're really excited about this because you love the book. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching my review. Do thumbs up and comment below. It does help out my channel a lot. Thanks if you've been here with the Ruby Tuesday for a long time. I really appreciate your support and the community we've grown. Look out for loads more reviews coming. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.